big episode, episode 6. This may be the biggest episode yet, because today a very big decision gets made. The official Nick's Big Pumpkin is gonna get crowned. So as of right now, we have 3 candidates. Come on over here. So this will be candidate number 1. It has the highest growth rate, as in it's seeing the quickest growth, but it's got 2 issues. One, it's got this kind of nasty scab on the side, which I have no idea how it got there. I must have, rubbed it the wrong way or something, which probably wouldn't be an issue, but there's a very small chance it could cause splitting in the future, and we want to avoid that. The main reason that I don't want to do this pumpkin right here is right in here. Maybe a little difficult to see, but there are splits forming in that stem. Yeah, you can see them in there. And that's actually really bad because as the pumpkin grows, high amounts of tension are formed in the stem. And if the tension becomes too great, those splits can get bigger and bigger, and they can travel down into the pumpkin itself, which obviously you actually cannot enter them into giant pumpkin contests if the split gets really bad. So that being said, we can't use this pumpkin. It would probably be fine. At this point, I'd say like a 70 to 80% chance that it would be fine, but I don't know if I want to take that risk for a slightly higher growth rate. So we'll go over here. Our second candidate, some creatures running around over there. Our second candidate is right over here. So it's a little bit late to have 3 pumpkins, and I did that. I saved 3 because we're just coming out of the great Connecticut heat wave of 2022. And extreme heat has a tendency of causing pumpkin plants to kind of abort their fruit, which obviously we don't really like. If we narrowed it down to 1 fruit and then a crazy heat wave came and our big fruit got wrecked, we would be pretty upset. So today's the first day where it's not 95 degrees in the middle of the day, so we're making our decision now because it's safer to do so. So I bring up the heat issue because I think that's what happened to this pumpkin. It was growing really, really fast, and it got pollinated before those 2. Oh, this was the one that we did in episode 5. This is the one we pollinated. And, it was all looking well and good, and one day it just decided to stop growing. So if I leave it on the plant, it's probably a 95% chance that in 2 or 3 days I'm gonna come out and it's gonna look a little soft and wrinkly because it's basically just dead. And so, obviously there's no real reason to keep it. At best it would stay the same size, at worst it'll just rot. So, that leaves 1 candidate left, and that is on a secondary vine in here. And I want to say, most giant pumpkin growers, the big idea is you have to grow on the central vine, the main vine, because that'll get you a bigger fruit. And there's this technique with curving the vine. Things did not go perfectly this year. I don't get the opportunity to do that, so we're just gonna roll with it. Our good one is on a secondary vine. We're just gonna have to live with it. It's still looking pretty good. So, in here, we have a nice, round, blemish-free fruit. There's little to no cracking on the stem. There's a slight superficial little scrape on it, but I'm not worried about it at all. And yeah, it just looks really nice, and it's got a fast growth rate too. Every time I come home from work or check on it in the morning, I'm like, wow, did it really grow that much in 12 hours or 8 hours? So yeah, those are our 3 candidates. And this pumpkin right here, if everything goes right, is gonna be Nick's Big Pumpkin, the official. And okay, it is August 10th? Yeah. My goal, end of the line date is October 1st. Pretty arbitrary, but I just had to pick something. So we got 50 days essentially. Between now and then, a lot of things could go wrong. I just saw a cucumber beetle climbing around on the pumpkin over there. That was the first one I saw the entire summer. Those are the evil little guys I talked about in episode 1 that can cause bacterial wilt. They'll eat the ends of your vines. So I have more cucumber beetle traps. I'm gonna put those up. They have little lures in them that smell like Tootsie Pops or Tootsie Rolls.
Mmm.
I agree. I like the smell. I was a cucumber beetle in a previous life. So I'm gonna put those up to avoid bacterial wilt. If that happens, the end. There's gonna be the end video. I don't wanna do that at all. So we gotta avoid that. I'm gonna keep putting on the copper fungicide to avoid powdery mildew. Oh, and the insecticidal super soap as well to try to kill vine borers, which I haven't seen a lot of. I've seen one leaf that got damaged by them, but since I have my vines buried, they're not as much of a big issue. All right, that's enough blabbering. We're gonna do it. I was thinking that there's the, time is going in a line. And when you cut this vine, we're kind of branching off into a definite timeline. So in some other timeline, I picked this one, but right now we're deciding, no, we're not going into that timeline, and neither are you. So here we go. Boom. If I had to guess, I would say 25 to 30 pounds. So I got a scale out here so we can see how much weight and energy was put into this pumpkin that we didn't end up using. So, let's see. $20.2. That's believable. What did I say, 25 or 30? I'm optimistic, all right? So, there's pumpkin 1 that we've decided is not going to be next big pumpkin. What are we gonna do with it? That's yet to be decided. This one is gonna be tough, because I know it cannot be the one, but its growth rate is just so crazy. It's gonna hurt to cut this one, because this is it. Once this gets cut off, like we're on the train and there's no getting off the train anymore. This is our hope. It's pretty much too late to pollinate another pumpkin. We wouldn't have that much time, really. So this is it, essentially. It's really difficult to do. All right, here we go. The timeline is about to get split again. Here we go. Damn. All right, this one is big. That one was 20 pounds. This one's gotta be 35 or 40. $43.6. Oh my God. 43.6 and we didn't even use it. Man. So 43 plus 20, 63 obviously, plus that's 64. 64 pounds of unused pumpkin. I guess just to avoid the risk of the heat wave killing them. Not a great strategy for massive pumpkin growth, but had to be done. So, all right. There it is. If it's gonna happen, it's gonna be this pumpkin right here. As of right now, okay, yeah, things seem like they're going good. We got this nice round pumpkin. It's growing fast. My forecast is a 60% chance of success. As in, we get a pumpkin that's above my PR of 411 pounds. yeah, about a 60% chance. There's so many things that could go wrong. And I'm mostly saying that for myself, because I hate getting people's hopes up for something like this when it could absolutely just fall apart, which would be a total bummer, but that's part of the game. So, the name of the game now is protect the plant, with everything I said earlier. Protect the pumpkin. I'm gonna have to design some sort of cage. I've been using a towel, just draping it over. You gotta protect the pumpkin from sun, because the sun will actually toughen the skin and make it more likely to split. And then obviously you have to protect it from pests, squirrels that bite it. Yeah, you gotta protect the pumpkin. I got a special delivery. I sprung for the 10 pounds this time because I ran out of the 5 pounds relatively quickly. We're gonna keep dousing this baby with Kickapoo Joy Juice. You know, if it's produced like close to 100 pounds of pumpkin so far, obviously it's working pretty well. So we're gonna keep going with that stuff. We're gonna protect the pumpkin. Yeah, at this point, the name of the game is prevent disaster. There's 2 facets to growing giant pumpkins. I wrote about this extensively in my little notes app. You have to do everything right, which is burying the vines, fertilizing correctly, getting the right seeds, planting at the right time. And then you have to avoid disaster, which is avoiding disease and mildew, pest bites, and etc. So we're really entering the avoid disaster phase, which is a much higher variance phase, right? Gone are the days where we have a bunch of plants or we have a bunch of pumpkins. We got one plant, we got one pumpkin that is the hope, okay? So, it's gonna start growing really quick. My prediction for that one is probably about 30 pounds, give or take 2 pounds. I would not be surprised if everything goes right if we see growth approaching 10 pounds a day. Because that's what I got last time when I got 411. I grew for about 40 days, so you know it works out to about 41 pounds a day. So, I'm terrible at mental math. I did that in episode 1 too. 10 pounds a day. You'd freak out if you knew what I was doing for a college major.